What do you know? It's another Friday and another episode of Voices. My name is Socrates, host of today's program. And if you were listening, I was on a short while ago with Sandra. She would have left the house. So we are now going to buckle down for another 2 hours plus of Voices, interactive conversation, just about anything in your mind. First, we pause to say get a kind word from our sponsors. And we're back with the program.
Not 5, not 10, but up to $20,000 off a new Toyota Hiace. Choose your Toyota Hiace model, choose your financial institution, and save up to $20,000. Roll out reliable, fresh, and in style with free licensing, registration, and tinting. It's a bus bonanza with up to $20,000 off. TDC Automotive, #1 for a reason.
Decided what to eat yet, hon?
Yep, almost.
If only this was easy like when we switched to Flow.
Best decision ever. Combining our mobile with Flow Internet
Saving hundreds each month on our mobile.
and getting double data to share for up to 4 lines. My ideas are the best.
Any idea when you'll make this decision?
Yeah, soon. Switch to Flow Postpaid and sign up for internet for big mobile savings and double data as low as $80 per line. Visit discoverflow.co for details. Conditions apply.
Buster, pour it up, need the thirst quencher in my cup. If you have one, hold it up and say, Buster put the colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like. Buster, you're full of vibes, living for the color. And I'm black and white, we do what we like. We live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor. Load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, Buster put the colors in my life.
And here we go. I want to say good morning for all the folks logged on to WINNFM 98.9 on the FM dial, those on the various platforms, radio, internet stream. Welcome to another episode of Voices. My name is Socrates in the chair today. I don't have any particular topic, but here's what. I just got a text from Chris Collins up in Sheffield saying, Alado. $9 return. Chris, good morning. Well, it's not morning, but hope you're having a wonderful day up there in the UK. And for all the folks who listened to the program I was on previously, yes, it was part of the discussion of what's happening in the tourism industry. It's been in the front of the media, for the past couple of weeks. The reopening of the industry, phase reopening, the fence at Port Zante, all the issues faced by the expectant drivers in terms of workflow coming off the ships. We are learning from them firsthand, the passengers, that they've been told by the ShoeX people that they should only book through the ships so they can control that revenue stream. They're looking at ways and means to recoup their losses over the past 20 months. And by extension, that is passed down to us. Don't book with them. They have no insurance. They are going to rob you. The ship may leave you. They sell fear. You would have heard Annie Fontaine speaking to that. You would have seen other clips from not only St. Kitts but from Barbados, etc. But a part of the many problems we have. But what I spoke about was the issue, the seemingly contention between certain corporations and the average taxi driver. I don't want to get into that anymore because without us, they would not have been given wings. I said the fare to Cockshell from Port Zante is $10 just per person return. If they choose to accept that from whatever company, to go for $9, which is $4.50 each way, you're not going for 10. You're going for $4.50 each way, $9 return. It's up to you. If that fits your business model, it works better for the corporations. So saying Alado, you might say that we've been taken advantage of. It's a person. Jump say you're watching me, but that's the response from Chris. Now, let me read something more current and more alarming because we do not operate in a bubble here in SKN. It reads, a new COVID-19 variant with higher number of mutations sparks travel bans and worries scientists. The discovery of a new and potentially more transmissible coronavirus variant by South African health authorities has sparked a forceful reaction across the world, with a number of countries banning travelers from several southern African countries. Okay, so I saw this news item trending since yesterday, and I'm saying here we go again. We were told by the health authorities here in St. Kitts, Nevis, that we are so fortunate not to have been impacted by the Delta variant, and so we're keeping our fingers crossed. We know we're in the midst of carnival preparation, celebration. A number of shows has gone already. We hear from a certain sector of the society that we need to open up. As it relates to Porzante, defense needs to come down, etc. We need to take baby steps as we move forward. We are not yet out of the woods. I was reminded this morning that in terms of death recorded due to coronavirus, the number stands at 28. And someone says, but of course, you also had 28 person died from natural causes. That may or may not be so. The fact is, we have the scale. We went from 1 case to 2 cases to 3 up to 20, 21, we're number 28. We need to do what we must. We need to be mindful, even in going forward and having carnival to some extent due to restrictions. A Juve, however that will play out, I don't know. Come out and enjoy yourself, but follow the precautions because they are proven to have been working. Now, of late, certain persons finding out that I've been vaccinated for some time, and now, thank you, right, thank you, are now informing me via a number of videos being sent to me about, how many people are falling down dead from COVID-19. And this person falling down dead. And this fallen because they took the vaccination, Person who would have taken the vaccination falling down. And a number of clips are showing me. And I'm saying, based on the conversation I had with certain people in the health authority, I made a decision, and I'm going to live with the consequences. They said in 2 years' time, I'll be dead. But that's okay. A lot of folks don't live to be this long. And for those who don't take it, I have no issue with you. You would have taken it based on what you wish or think is best for yourselves. Whatever you are, however it's going to play out, it's up to you. Okay? So I don't need to be reminded by clips and this, you take the vaccination, and in 2 years you'll be dead. Let me see, I'll be like 68. That's okay. Where's the job, sir? So I don't have any particular topic today. Let me see if I get the numbers to call. I know I've got 466-0989. And I do have a caller on the line. Let's take the call. Caller 11 Voices, good morning.
Good morning, the King.
Good morning, Sir Africa. How are you?
I'm giving thanks for life, even though it seems a little bit overcast.
That's all right.
Life, regardless.
You appreciate the sunshine better?
Yes. Can I have permission to speak, sir?
Most definitely, sir.
Yes, I heard you talk about what would be the challenges to the ordinary taxi person like you and I, who are not like, persons coming directly to us.
Oh, yes, that flow.
Some have reached that, and I give kudos to them. And then the better organized persons are there also. And so it's a give and take because, persons would have come here before and gotten a good experience with persons like you and I.
Yes.
And would want to come back and get that same experience.
Quite so.
And so certain sentiments, let's say it emanates from the ship that ends. Certain sentiments would not deter them.
Correct.
Because they have come here before. They would suppose that all persons who drive in a vehicle is insured. We don't know how far that would go in terms of the coverage. But things of that nature, trying to deter people and saying, well, they're not insured and, you're going to get robbed and all these other things. It's painted a bad picture for the whole island.
But it's nothing new.
Right, and it's nothing new.
But given the COVID constraints now, those guests, those passengers are more susceptible to believe it because they figure, okay, things on the ground has changed, so we don't want to take a chance. But for the discerning traveler, they don't buy that. As a matter of fact, I have a family due to come off on the 8th of next month. They've been here before. They used to live here. They know better. And they asked me to contact, take care of their family directly. They didn't say, well, we have to go to the ship. So if the ship try to tell them that, they're not going to accept it.
Exactly. So you see, media, battle for the minds in terms of disseminating information, disinformation, misinformation, and to really convince person to do otherwise. But that such is a challenge, because over the years we will see that less and less persons might be wanting to come this way, especially with the ships that are not full to the capacity. And so all of that are challenges that we face, but we're going to continue to be resilient. I know since that tourism has passed back and there's over the in terms of the dispatching back to you guys, you're going to be more busy, and it's going to be difficult for you to be juggling there and juggling with the station. But I hope that you will be able to get away and let your voice be heard still on the radio, because you have this radio personality.
Really?
And you know what I mean? And yeah, person is looking forward to hear your voice and other voices. And
maybe management might hire me permanently. Who says that?
Yeah, but now the king, I wanted to go into what I wanted to call in and weighing on. I kind of call in and weighing in the season now and ignore what is happening with our bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes. I wanted to go into a few things that I would hope that Mrs. Henry, good morning to Mrs. Henry and all other folks that are listening, would have touched on. And as things are developing, there's so many developments. One, Ethiopia, and the sentiments that we were put in, and the people were put in the bush, as opposed to in Addis Ababa or into a thriving city. We were put in the bush in St. Kitts and Nevis and the Caribbean islands, and lo and behold, look what those bush has transformed to. Thriving cities that visitors come to our shores now and love our topography, love of the island, and all of these things. So we can transform whatever condition we've been put in.
Is the people.
As we have built the world over. And it was not, putting nobody in the bush, shashamani. It was that you're coming from a different culture, that you have craft your own culture. It would be best that you start from scratch in an area that you can build to your own liking and the likes. It's the Rastafarian that took up the call, but the call was for persons in the diaspora, persons who took the call from Emperor Haile Selassie in 1935, the pilots in the U.S. that went there, and when the U.S. tried to debar citizens, African Americans, from going to Ethiopia to help in the war. So it wasn't just a particular group, the Rastafarians, but the Rastafarians always had this zeal and this quest for home. And so they took it on overwhelmingly, as opposed to the ordinary folk that would have gone there to build that city and do their own businesses there. That was a vision since 1935 and thereabouts. As a result of that came out the Ethiopian Airlines, from the gentleman of one or two of the pilots. The Ethiopian Airlines is a model. Soon that Ethiopian Airlines is going to be coming here. Linkages with Barbados, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Kitts and Nevis, and the Caribbean. Because this is a model that is inspiring the other flagging airlines. So it's a whole package. Another thing Mrs. Henry said, that if you see the father, if you see the son, you see the father. I want to know, where is the son? Where can I find the son? I can find the son in the Bible. In Daniel and in Revelation, that describe the son as having hair like wool, and then his feet is burned like burnt brass, and all of this description. If you're bringing me another son that does not fit all those phenotype and description, is not the son. Yes, so if I see the son, I will recognize and know the father. That is true. But you do not bring a picture to me that does not resemble these things of what the book of Daniel and what the book of Revelation talk about the Son of Man. And as for the TPLF, the group that ruled Ethiopia for 27 years, and the argument about they want to secede and form their own thing, when the other ethnic groups was under their rulership for 27 years, those other groups did not see that, want to fragment the Ethiopian proud people. They rule and they show that disdain for the type of governance, and they did it by doing it through a democratic process by going to the polls and voting, and the man won overwhelmingly. You cannot come tell me now that you're going to be siding with a group that probably, whatever their ambitions are, they want to secede, fine. But secession comes through the ballot, just like anything else, and not the bullet. Because who are dying is our people are dying regardless. And the external forces that are using the proxy, we saw it in Syria, we saw it in other parts of the world. And then coupled with the fake news of the BBC, the CNN, the Al Jazeera, the AP, the Associated Press, the Reuters, and coupled with those diplomats now, the diplomats that just got caught. There is a new thing that came out with a UK, an EU, and a US diplomat who are sitting down as to carving out how they're going to change, regime change in Ethiopia. And it was caught. They did not know that someone was
recording them.
And it is out in the open now. So you see that
Conspiracy.
That they are fixing with the fake news that emanates from those respective countries are mentioned, as to show you the media and the diplomacy and all of this wanted to stop Ethiopia from building a dam, wanted to stop Ethiopia from their good success in the airlines, wanted to stop Ethiopia from feeding themselves. I mentioned the province Kaffa, where the word coffee comes from. Ethiopia have some of the best coffee. What if the Ethiopians decide that we're going to make our own coffee now?
Because the market.
Starbucks will probably only have the name, but not the quality. And this is what these people are mortally afraid of. They are just narcissists in their intention. You can't get it, I'm going to destroy it.
Okay.
That's narcissism at its best. Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much. I'm sure Sister Henry wants to listen to you. Be glad to respond to that. We now need to pause for a break and give kudos to our sponsors.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Decided what to eat yet, hon?
Yep, almost.
If only this was easy like when we switched to Flow.
Best decision ever. Combining our mobile with Flow Internet
Saving hundreds each month on our mobile.
and getting double data to share for up to 4 lines. My ideas are the best.
Any idea when you'll make this decision?
Yeah, soon. Switch to Flow Postpaid and sign up for internet for big mobile savings and double data as low as $80 per line. Visit discoverflow.co for details. Conditions apply.
When they start them there, we are top man, we take charge. Have no reaching now, we are shell down hard. Blast like a star, we come a gallopar. Overdo it, we take it too far. Take charge, take charge.
We are hot gal, we set the trend. Magnum we drink for the top man them. Wine with the style, no stop from spin. Hot blend, back bend, and take charge, take charge.
Magnum tonic wine, for the real star them. Take charge, take charge. Must be 18 or older, drink responsibly.
Today, shop away. Take 2 days to shop your way. Huge savings for today. We're always so nice. We're treating you so right. Let's shop today.
Celebrate Saturday with 20% off in-store this Friday the 26th and Saturday the 27th of November at the TDC Home and Building Depots.
Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
To our viewers and listeners, welcome back to Voices. It's a beautiful Friday up there. A bit of a cast, but of course we're in the tropics, so we take the sunshine and the shades and we go straight to the phone lines. Caller 11 Voices, good morning. Good day, caller 11 Voices.
Hello, good morning, the King.
Good morning, Sir Johnny. How are you?
I'm doing great. What about you?
Not too bad for an old man.
We are getting there fast.
Beautiful. Yes, go ahead.
Now, I want to say good morning to Mrs. Henry, and I don't want Miss Henry to feel like this is a tag up, but I just want to piggyback on something she said the last time we interact on this program.
Okay, go right ahead.
Yeah, Mrs. Henry said that, let's see, I'm trying to remember exactly what she said. She said that, she said the God of death is the devil.
Yeah, you mentioned that
Now,
last time.
yes. Now, she said that, and she also said that if you see the Son, you see the Father. Well, for me, I am seeing the God of death. And by that I mean the King. Those who are killing us represent the God of death. One would ask the question, well, aren't black killing blacks too? And this is where I'm going to go back to where we began, the custodian of the order that was given by the Most High, those who did not dwell in sin, my ancestors, your ancestors, the King. Because when I go back to centuries and decades ago, that order was kept by the custodian who was given the order.
So we did
I
not
am
dwell in
holy,
sin?
so be ye holy. Sorry?
We did not dwell in sin? You're saying that Africans back then did not dwell in sin?
Well, let me ask you this, the King. You come into a supreme being for the first time. The linguistic was given. The communication was there. You did not create your own self. A being created you that was more power than you. Surely, you would have reverence to that being that created you, yes?
Makes sense.
So that order was kept. That order was kept for decades until they broke us. And yes, the King, they did broke us. And we are broken today. So when Mrs. Henry says that the God of death is the devil is killing us today. And you don't have to ask who are killing us. And yes, this killing has spilled over because of the system that they have imposed upon us. Believe it or not, it is alive today. Now, I want to touch on something that you and Sandra had this morning. But before I go into that, I just want to raise our listeners to something that I came across, and I'm sure many may have come across this on social media too. Prince William is at task today in the UK for a speech he made pertaining to the rapid growth of the youths, the way our people are growing on the continent of Africa in terms of the birth of the black child. Now, in my own words, I'm going to just paraphrase what he said. He said that the growth of the continent of Africa is causing the wildlife to be in jeopardy.
Really?
Yes. And this is the second time he has issued such sentiments. Now, here are we. When I say we, I'm referring to the black people.
Mm-hmm.
We take what those people say as gospel. Here is William, and we know where William associates, where he comes from.
I would love for you to tell me where we can find that quotation, that quote, or send me the information.
The King.
Okay, somebody just mentioned it and said it to me.
All right, the King.
Go ahead.
I did repost it, so I can go back and I'll see if I can get it to you.
Okay, appreciate that.
What I'm saying is that we are so used to listening to them on every sphere because they're even telling our story. We need to move away from this. We need to move away from this because when William said what he said, people gravitate to it and they take it, and especially his kind would support him, not realizing that this man is launching at us in a diabolic way by saying that the growth of the population of the continent is in jeopardy to the wildlife. I mean, how dare William? What gave him the right to come across like this, talking about human? And not that we don't love animals, because we are in harmony with animals from the beginning. The animals share our totem. We have totem with the animal that they don't know of. But the King, again, we love to hear our story told by them and not realizing that what they hid from us is what would make us powerful. There's where our power lies, but they hid it from us and they're telling our story in their narrative. We need to move away from this, the king.
Okay, got you.
Now, this is serious. This is so serious because...
No, I am going to look at that that thing that you spoke to.
Yes, it's there. And this is the second time for the year he has issued this sentiment.
Okay.
Now, if I get back in later, I'm going to touch something you said with Sandra this morning.
Okay, sir.
Pertaining to the tourist industry. Thank you for hearing me.
Appreciate that journey. Okay. And that was our second call for the morning. As we continue with voices, the numbers to call are 466-0989, 662-0989, 762-0989. And we have this call on the lines to speak. Caller, you're live on voices. Please go ahead. Good day, caller. You're live on voices.
Hey, good morning, Socrates.
Oh, well, they call you, they wake you up, so let's do it. Good morning.
They better leave. The Bible said the stone the builders rejected has become the head of the cornerstone,
I'm loving it. Go right ahead.
He said, woe to the man who the stone roll over and grind him to powder.
I see.
Now, before I go ahead, I want to send advance birthday greetings. Greetings to two strong advocates for people with disability, or as they like to say, the differently abled.
Okay.
Tomorrow will be the birthday of Anthony Mills. You know Anthony Mills?
From He Living Challengers?
No, man. He live over Pond Extension in the wheelchair, no?
Okay, yes.
Strong advocate.
I've not seen him in years, man.
Yes. And Earl Clark birthday coming up. Nobody tell me if it is Sunday or when, but Earl Clark and Anthony Mills have been strong advocates for the rights of persons living with disability. And they deserve it, They deserve all the accolades we could give. Because often people turn their back, look down, demean, on the other people who have different forms of disability.
Yes.
So happy birthday, Anthony, coming from Sylvine and all the members of the Association of Persons with Disability. And while I'm at it, we have in the Calypso tent the awesome navigator.
Definitely.
Who is the present president of the association. So it shows that disability does not stop you from performing.
Of course not.
And when you hear, last night I listened to the 25 most remarkable youths, and among them were a number of young people who suffered and maybe still going through great difficulties. And I commend them. Because often people would encourage you and push you aside, And if you don't know yourself, you stay there and you put yourself in a corner.
You said it correctly, if you don't know yourself.
If you don't know yourself, because I spoke about this girl, and the young man who had cancer in the bones. We have a young man down at our center, Deontay Foster. Maybe he plays tennis.
Okay.
He had his leg amputated as a teenager. One morning you wake up with pain in your leg and next thing they say you have cancer. So, I want to commend all of the young people who received awards last night. Now, let me get to my good friend, Journey.
Okay.
Journey, I had to laugh at some of the things he said, They are simply illogical, romanticizing. No, he said, our people, well, if we are the first set of people, and Adam and Eve were our parents, well, Cain and Abel belong to who?
Is when? He said decades, eh?
Who?
He said decades.
So obviously, if we claim Cain and Abel, if we claim Adam and Eve as black people, we got to claim their children too, I know they were not living in sin, please. All have sinned. The Bible said there's none that do it good, no, not one. Neither white, black, green, or blue. We may not be as wicked as them, but we're wicked. And this Bible says that Satan is one, the father of lies. He's the father of deception. The Bible says you got to be careful with him, you know. He comes like an angel of light to deceive. And many of us are being deceived. Open deception. I mean, I love to hear him there, you know. Because if you don't know your history, or you don't know the truth, you swallow the lie.
I think both him and Africa wanted you to expand on a remark you made pertaining to Ethiopia a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure exactly what it was.
Ethiopia?
Yep.
I think they need to get the true truth. Let them ask
The
Marcus
true truth.
Garvey. If you search on the web, you know that Marcus Garvey denounced Haile Selassie?
No, I don't know about that.
Search it. When Haile Selassie left Ethiopia and went to England with his family and left the Ethiopians to face the Italians.
Yep.
Marcus Garvey said he can't be no God. They like to say, Marcus Garvey said he's the God. Marcus Garvey said not him, cannot be him. Because he is securing himself and leaving his people.
Between his people, yeah, remember that now.
And he said not only that, you know, he said Haile Selassie is in England, eating and drinking with the royalty and the aristocrats. We need to know the truth.
I remember that aspect of it. I do.
Yeah. So they got all kind of cacamble story. Haile Selassie, God bless him. He was the head of the Orthodox Ethiopian Church, which is a Christian church, which worship the one and only true God. He never worshiped himself. And all the story. Is Haile Selassie seen by other African nations as the God of the black people? The answer is no. He's God for Rasta, but he's not God for Africa. Not even in his own country was he seen as the God.
The name Rastafari came from his name, right?
Yeah, and do you know he overthrew the lady before him to get to that position?
Yes.
They don't talk that, you know. So when he give me name King of King and Lord of Lord, he overthrew the lady. He overthrew the queen. He overthrew the queen who he was working with, took her position, get the name, he subdued the people of Africa, not Ethiopia. I mean, he did some good, eh? You got to give him credit. What? Can remember, Haile Selassie was educated in Europe. You know that?
No.
Oh, you don't know that?
Nope.
Where do you think you learn all those French and so? Check it out. Haile Selassie was educated in Europe. Quite fluent in the European languages. French and different things. He was. So therefore, being exposed to the development in those countries, when he came back, he made an effort to bring Ethiopia up to par. This is why he emphasized education, and not just primary, secondary, because he had been educated to that level in Europe. He was not educated in Africa, you know.
Is this to say that up to that point in Africa, there weren't no institutions, no universities that gave that level of education, or he did not attend them? They may not have.
No, he was.
But the question is, were there no institution, no educational institutions, or universities in Africa?
Send him to Europe.
Okay, but there were
That
from
is
in
why
Africa.
he could have easily go to London. He did not go to another African nation, you know.
So that was a choice, not because there weren't any.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It was his choice.
His father's choice.
Well, by the time, I think it was in his 30s.
Then, because you did say his father sent him to, that's where
His father sent him to Europe.
Okay.
you know, and this God thing. So all of these who talking about thing is God, all of them should have been members of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, rather than trying to make God out of the man. They have a church here and they wouldn't go. That is Haile Selassie's church. He was named as the head of the church. This is where you get the thing about king and God.
Mm-hmm.
They made him. So when you hear them, they got, you see, nothing is wrong in bigging up black people because you can't keep a good man down. But when you start to skew the story and twist the story, it's a different ball game. It's a different ball game because look, Eritrea, you know, Eritrea was part of Ethiopia.
Yes, of course.
Some people don't know that. Eritrea fought for their independence. Now this other state fighting for their independence. Well, why? And my good friend Africa talk about the Rastafarians, them wanted to go up and fight. Rastaman from where?
Well, they didn't ask you to weigh in on those topics, so you would have done so.
Yeah, I mean,
it would be interesting to see the response.
Rastafarianism started in the 1930s, you know, in Jamaica. You know that?
That's where it started in Jamaica in the 30s.
Uh-huh.
When did he visit? When did he visit Jamaica?
It started in the 30s in Jamaica.
But when did Selassie visit Jamaica? Was it the 70s?
No. He visited. No man, because Simmons was in, so he had to be in the 80s or the early 90s. And he told them plain out, he ain't no God. Jesus said, if you see the Father, you see me. When they say, use God, he said, well, you ain't, he said, even before Abraham was, I was. And this one harping on the color. All of us know for sure that he wasn't white. So were you keeping up the narrative? He wasn't white, no matter what color they paint him, he wasn't white. If he was white, they would not be in America talking about the Jews can't keep us down, and black people and Jews
will not replace
dogs.
us.
We're in the same category. You realize that?
Well, I asked the question.
In the eyes of the Caucasian, the blacks and the Jews are in the same category.
The same, yes.
You understand?
Well, not necessarily, because the Jews were given easement and assistance and reparation. Those Western Jews, they were given that, whereas Africans' experience was one of slavery and downtroddenness.
We're looking for it. And another thing, there are people today who are saying that the Holocaust didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
There are white people who are saying that slavery didn't happen either, you know.
Of course.
So that when we make these statements, oh, you know, they were not slaves in Egypt. Ask the Jews, why is it in the Jewish Bible? Because, you know, the Jews have the Pentateuch, right? Genesis to Deuteronomy.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jews, even the promise to Abraham, he said, you shall be the father of many nations. When they left Egypt, the Bible said they were mixed. They were mixed. Because they kept going into captivity. Read the Bible properly. When they start to worship the gods them of the other nation, God said, all right, you want to worship them, go over there. They go into captivity. And when they go over there, they marry to the people them.
The pharaohs were black in Egypt.
Yes. No, you're black.
What color were the Jews then?
What will you get?
What was the racial makeup of the Jews then? Because I'm here that it was Africans, because Egypt is Africa. Enslaved Africans.
Is the whole of Africa black?
No, but I'm asking the Jews.
Make up what Europeans them. Are the Arabs black?
Correct.
They don't consider themselves black. Egypt is in Africa. A lot of places in Africa, people, even Israel. When you look at the map, they're not Africa, but you hear about Arab states and Arab states.
Yes. And there was some assimilation.
If you keep mixing the race, and remember that a lot of other people converted to Judaism. So being a Jew no longer refer to color alone.
Race or conversion by conversion.
By conversion,
Okay.
you read in Acts chapter
You have any
2.
call on the line? Okay, no more calls on the line. Go ahead.
All right.
We're going to break
Acts
for...
chapter 2, right? On the day of Pentecost, he said the Jews came from all kind of places.
Mm-hmm.
So, they are black African Jews. You know, they came out of Ethiopia, right?
Yes. That was the point I was trying to make.
Yeah. So it isn't that all Jews black. We got to get a thing out of our head. All Jews are not black. All Jews are not white. These Jews who are there were brought there. They are Jews by conversion.
Okay.
But we don't say that, oh, they ain't a Jew. They're Jew.
But by conversion, but the original Jews were black.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to say so, but then you're going to have to claim Cain and Abel.
Okay, no problem. We do have a pause. We do have to pause now for a station break. But we'll thank you for that bit of enlightenment. Okay? So, Jamster, take it away.
Campari, grapefruit, easy for we. Brother, he no hard it, easy for we. Campari, he no cup, easy for we. Brother, he no hard it, easy for we. Add the Campari with the grapefruit soda. That easy, bitter had the pre. Simple mixer, easy 1 3. Campari, grapefruit, that easy for we. If you mix a Campari grapefruit, add 1 part Campari to 3 parts grapefruit soda. Drink at the bar, on the beach, or when a girl reach. Must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink responsibly.
With 20% off in-store this Friday the 26th and Saturday the 27th of November at the TDC Home and Building Depots.
Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Decided what to eat yet, hon?
Yep, almost.
If only this was easy like when we switched to Flow.
Best decision ever. Combining our mobile with Flow Internet.
Saving hundreds each month on our mobile.
And getting double data to share for up to 4 lines. My ideas are the best.
Any idea when you'll make this decision?
Yeah, soon. Switch to Flow Postpaid and sign up for internet for big mobile savings and double data as low as $80 per line. Visit discoverflow.co for details. Conditions apply.
And we go straight to the lines. Okay. Came back. Go to caller, your live and voices.
The King, I'm back.
Okay.
I want to jump you back to way back in history when the Islamic forces started to encroach on what is considered to be the Holy Land, Jerusalem, and that area there. And when some people who blocked the Islamic march towards like Istanbul, what's called Istanbul today, Turkey, where the Constantinople, the Church of the Sophia Hagia was established by Constantine, and there was an empire where Jewish conversion took place. Well, let's get back to some missionaries that even went as far as to India. One, Alvarez, he was a Dominican missionary from one of those societies of the Catholic Church, like the Jesuits, the Capuchins. He was a Dominican. And he had heard about this great king, one by the name Prester John. And everyone was speculating because Europe wanted some help. Here is Islam is encroaching on their borders, and who can rescue them? And they heard of this great fame of this great Prester John. Speculation went out there as to how far, where is this Prester John? How far of the world is this Prester John? Was he Genghis Khan from the Mongol Empire? No, he was not. It narrowed down that Pastor John was this great Ethiopian king,
Okay.
Christian, and decided to give Europe help from the encroachment of these Islamic forces. Of course, as a Christian, you're going to reach out to some brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that?
Yeah.
We have
That's
one
right.
thing in common. Jesus Christ is the foundation of all of us, right?
Yes.
Good.
We
Thank you.
have Christian faith to accept that.
All right. So I want you Christians to understand that. When a brother Christian reach out to you, and I'm going to bring it down to today, this Christian king found out that Europe, his Christian brothers in Europe needed help, and they reached out to Prester John to help them. They heard of this mighty Ethiopian guy. The Ethiopians have 9/10 of the courage. Muhammad said that. He told his troops, when you're facing the Ethiopians, don't even bother to, because they have 9/10 of the courage of what warfare and humanity is. They heard of Prester John and they decided that, yes, we want the help. So the Portuguese reached out to Prester John. And that is where the fame of this ancient Christian church is like this ancient church predate all other churches, the oldest nation, Ethiopia today. Okay? So that is the veracity. Over the time, these people are not surprised that these Christians uphold Christianity, what Christianity really is in its true sense. And today, if you go to Ethiopia, to Lalibela, you will see where these people come and put pictures as if to say, well, your iconography that was in your church is not good enough, so let us replace them. That's the audacity with these people. They're not respecting the people as Christians. Those who reach out to them to help them from annihilation. This is the thanks we're getting. Now, what Mrs. Henry said about the Rastafarians, you're misconstruing what I said. After the war, the Rastafarians took up the Shashamani was given after the war as to say thanks to the diaspora, not just Rastafarians alone, but all of those who came from America who came over, and it was only a few persons.
Let me know. Okay.
So thanks to the diaspora, here is some land. Not to come to fight. The war has been over when Shashamani was decided that this would be a space for you to come and develop and do businesses and everything. Build your own civilized society. You understand?
Appreciate that, yes. Hold up.
So don't misconstrue what I was saying, because I do go back and listen to these tapes.
Okay. We pause off another call. Africa, we have this call on line, so talk to you after. I'm going to call your live on voices. Is a caller? Okay, in the meantime, I have a text sent by Carl Astafan. She was trying to get in. And it reads, Haile Selassie visited Jamaica on Tuesday, April 21st, 1966. Jamsi, you were right. Some 100,000 Rastafarians from all over Jamaica descended on Palacios Airport in Jamaica, in Kingston, having heard of the man whom they considered to be God was coming to visit them. Today, the Rastafari celebrates that Haile Selassie visited Jamaica on April 21st, and it was in the year 1966. We have this call on the line. Caller, your live on voices. Go to caller, your live on voices. Go right ahead. Let's try for next caller. Lost up one. Good day, caller, your live on voices.
Yeah, man, good day. Greetings and love,
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, Carl, correct.
Okay, beautiful. You have corroboration.
Yeah? And His Majesty visit to Jamaica.
The date is right, 1966?
We need to inform, she says better when she's talking about His Majesty. His Majesty never wasn't educated in Europe. His Majesty is God, right? And the Bible tells us that the government going to be upon his shoulders. So from the age of 13, he became the governor of Hara, a province in Ethiopia, So from an early age then, he started governing, started rulership according to the prophecy in the Bible. He is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords and the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. Understand? So it's like, we need to inform yourself better. You know what I mean? and stop making it look so negative, you know, when it's the truth. Because I'm watching, you know, remember, right? Even His Majesty is so good. Nothing being taught to us about him, right? All the knowledge we have about His Majesty.
Your own research?
From the Rastafari nation.
Your own research?
Right? Hello?
I say come from your own research.
From the Rastafari people, because we were the nation of people who kept His Majesty history and name alive among us. Remember, you know, the earth run by the wicked, you know. The Bible tells that the devil around the world.
Okay.
You never teach about God.
I want to ask you to get your point in quickly because I have a call on the line before they made the newscast. So wrap it up for me and you can call back after.
Okay, then I'll leave it there until later then.
No, the person gone, so imagine that. The lines are lighting up at this moment. We got about 2 minutes before they made their newscast. We're trying to get as many callers as possible. We lost one also. And they cut the brother. So there is corroboration by the last caller in putting the day that Sister Henry said that Selassie went to Jamaica. That was in the 80s when Dr. Simmons was then Premier and then Prime Minister. But according to Carla Astafan, and the brother just corroborated, Selassie visited Jamaica on April 21st, 1966. It reads some 100,000 Rastafari from all over Jamaica descended on Palisados, that's what it says, airport in Kingston, having heard of the man whom they considered to be God was coming to visit them. Today, that date is celebrated April 21st as the day Selassie went to Jamaica. Ms. Henry spoke of that he received a European or Westernized education. The last brother said no, he did not. He is King of Kings, God is God, Lords of Lords, so he may not have needed that education. But I was able to clarify that that education she referred to in Europe was one of choice, not because there were no institutions in Africa. We know Africans are big on universities for him to study, but if he chose to go there, it's not because there was none there in Africa for him to get his education. But that's a matter of perspective. And of course, I entertain all perspective, Christian, Rastafarian, Jews, etc. You make your point, I'll entertain. I'm just a moderator. I'm not here to argue with you or prove you're right or wrong. People are educated and edified by listening to all points of views, and they eventually make their own decision. And that's the way. Okay, you have any caller? Okay, we go to a break now. We pause now for the midday newscast. We have to fix the clock on the wall, okay? And I will speak to you hopefully after the news break.
Found the sound 98.9 FM.
Shop away. Take 2 days to shop your way. Huge savings for today. We're always so nice. We're treating you so right. Let's start today.
Celebrate Friday with 20% off in-store this Friday the 26th and Saturday the 27th of November at the TDC Home and Building Depots.
Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
Decided what to eat yet, hon?
Yep, almost.
If only this was easy like when we switched to Flow.
Best decision ever. Combining our mobile with Flow Internet
Saving hundreds each month on our mobile.
and getting double data to share for up to 4 lines. My ideas are the best.
Any idea when you'll make this decision?
Yeah, soon. Switch to Flow Postpaid and sign up for internet for big mobile savings and double data as low as $80 per line. Visit discoverflow.co for details. Conditions apply.
Buster, pour it up, leave the thirst quencher in my cup. If you have one, hold it up and say, bust the brother colors in my life. Refreshing and nice, and I drink that what we like. Bust and you're full of vibes, living full color. And I'm black and white, we do what we like. We live to enjoy life. Buster, pour it up, different flavor. Load it up, load it up. If you have one, hold it up and say, bust the brother colors
FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
We are faced with tough decisions every day, but choosing the right home or motor insurance shouldn't be one. You need fast claim settlement from a company that's been rooted for over 31 years. And don't forget the A Excellent rating by AM Best. Make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Reliable insurance that you can count on. Get a quote today for your home, motor, contents, and liability insurance needs, and make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance. Tomorrow secured. Local agents, Dalil Walwyn & Co. Limited. Telephone 465-2631 or 469-5303 for the Nevis office.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
With the Win Headline News, I am Kevon Brown. Making the headlines, the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party begins leadership transition this weekend. Concerns have been raised about the decline in Guyana's fish population. Local fishers have reported reduction in catches, and the government there is set to conduct an analysis on the claim. Internationally concerned about a new heavily mutated variant of coronavirus first detected in southern Africa has led the UK to restrict travel to 6 African countries. Now, the details. On Sunday, the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party will appoint a new leader. Delegates of the soon 90-year-old party will vote for a new national political leader to replace the Right Honourable Dr. Denzil Douglas, who has led the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party for the past 32 years. The three vying for the title are outgoing St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party Chairman Dr. Terence Drew, Parliamentary Representative for St. Christopher I Dr. Geoffrey Hanley, and former Representative for St. Christopher III Conris Maynard. While Dr. Douglas will be relieved of his post within the party on Sunday, he says that he has no intention of becoming a passive member.
I do not intend to go away. I intend to remain and live here in St. Kitts and Nevis. I intend to remain engaged as much as I can, not only with the leadership of the party, but with the rank and file, to ensure that if there is any fallout from this exercise that is being conducted, that will end hopefully on Sunday, that we would be able, as men and women, matured men and women, who have the interest of our party at heart, men and women who are aware of the atrocities that are being committed against our people at this time, the immense suffering, the difficulties that our people are experiencing, especially at this time. That is enough to drive us together to ensure that the regime that is in place today is removed.
Said Dr. Douglas during a press conference on November 25th.
So there's no question in our minds that we have to unite very quickly, collaborate very quickly, let the scars and the aches and the pains of this race go behind us as we move forward to represent our people in parliament, in government, and return this country to its former glory. That is what is important at this time.
In addressing questions about the party appearing divided since the start of this race, the three candidates indicated that that appearance was false and expressed that they are ready and willing to support no matter the outcome of Sunday's race. Apart from the national political leader, the delegates will vote for 2 deputy political leaders, 1 chairperson, 3 vice chairpersons, 1 assistant secretary, and 3 floor members. Sharon Ratan, chairperson of the Electoral Commission, shared how the delegates list for this election was created.
Each branch selects 50 delegates as per the Constitution to participate in the private session. So 8 constituencies, 50 delegates. In addition to that, there's the national executive delegates, the young labor delegates, the labor women delegates, and the union delegates. So all of those persons, all of those individuals would make up the voters list. That is how it was created. In this context, as opposed to a voters list in a general elections, where there is consistent registration throughout the year.
Explained Ratan. The voting process will be a private session on Sunday, November 28, 2021, from 10 a.m. at the St. Kitts Marriott Resort. In regional news, concerns have been raised about the decline in Guyana's fish population. Local fishers have reported reduction in catches, and the government there is set to conduct an analysis on the claim, Guyana News Source reports.
The government of Guyana has indicated that it is in support of an analysis being done to determine the cause of a significant decline in catches being experienced by local fishermen. Stakeholders in the local fishing industry met on Wednesday with the Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa. During the meeting, the fishermen and other stakeholders raised worry about the current state of the fishing industry. Minister Mustafa said the government prefers to have an analysis done to determine its cause. Minister Mustafa said the government prefers to have an analysis done to determine its response rather than to act on assumptions.
We never had an analysis of what causing this low catches, right? Because you got people fishing in different parts of the country. It's the same issue they're getting. Some people fishing outside of Guyana water, they're getting the same issue. So we have to, first of all, address the concern. What is causing the low catches in our country or around our country or in the waters that we fish? So before we do that, we have to do a proper analysis. We have to see what is the reason and what is causing these things. Because not only you got sometimes the seabarb industry, people are complaining that they are getting low catches and things like that. So what I have done since I have met with you, I have been working to ensure that we come up with some strategy to see how we can address the issue.
The Minister of Agriculture announced that the government has started to engage the Environmental Protection Agency and the UN Food and Agriculture Organization to assist with the analysis to determine the reason behind the low catches. He told the fisherfolk also that a collective effort between the government and players in the fisheries sector is needed to address the issue of low catches in Guyana. Some of the fishermen believe that the low catch problems that they are facing has to do with the increased activity out at sea in the oil sector. The ExxonMobil company has said it cannot be blamed for the issue in the absence of any comprehensive study on what is taking place being done.
We now bring you these international reports.
Hello and welcome if you're watching in the UK or around the world. European Union countries will consider whether to halt air travel from the southern Africa region while scientists investigate the new variant of COVID which has now emerged there. Germany, Italy and the Netherlands have already joined the British government in introducing urgent travel restrictions on South Africa and neighbouring countries because of concerns about the strain, which scientists fear could be more infectious and better able to evade vaccines. The variant's potential danger is still not fully understood, and only a few dozen cases involving it have actually been confirmed. Well, the UK will halt all flights from South Africa, Namibia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Lesotho and Eswatini this afternoon. From Sunday, travellers arriving in England from those countries will have to quarantine. Germany's restrictions will begin tonight. Cases have been identified in South Africa, Hong Kong and Botswana so far, but no cases have yet been confirmed in the United Kingdom. Britain's Health Secretary Sajid Javid says the variant has a significant number of mutations, which means it could be more transmissible and that current vaccines could be less effective. Scientists say the new variant is the most complex that they have seen and also the most worrying. Our medical editor Fergus Walsh has this assessment of that new variant.
The speed at which new and stringent travel restrictions have been imposed show just how seriously this variant is being taken. Between 500 and 700 travellers arrive in the UK from South Africa every day. That's where most of the cases have so far been identified and where it appears the variant may be driving a new wave of infection.
It may be more transmissible than the Delta variant, and the vaccines that we currently have may be less effective against it. Now, to be clear, we have not detected any of this new variant in the UK at this point in time, but we've always been clear that we will take action to protect the progress that we have made.
The new variant was formally identified only 3 days ago. Genetic analysis shows it has twice the number of mutations as Delta, the dominant variant worldwide, including around 30 changes to the spike protein, which the virus uses to break into human cells. This makes it dramatically different from the original Wuhan strain, on which all current vaccines are based. But crucially, there is no evidence yet that the variant causes more severe disease or that it makes vaccines less effective. It will take 2 to 3 weeks before laboratory tests can show whether this is another defining moment in the pandemic or a false alarm. Fergus Walsh, BBC News.
Well, let's get more about the concerns about this new variant from our correspondent Andrew Harding, who's in Johannesburg.
The one thing scientists here say they are sure of so far is that this is a highly transmissible variant. They've seen how quickly it has spread through the province of Gauteng, which is around Johannesburg, and it has now pushed out any other variants. And there is evidence that it appears to be spreading faster than previous variants in previous waves here in South Africa. So that in itself and alone is cause for concern, certainly. As for the details of the impact of some of these mutations, right now scientists are studying those very closely. They don't expect to have results, though, for some weeks. And obviously they'll be waiting to see the impact on the population as a whole here and the extent to which the penetration of vaccination rates here will provide some safety and some defence.
That's Andrew Harding in South Africa. Let's go to our correspondent in Berlin now, Damien McGuinness. And Damien, clearly real concern in the UK about this variant that's emerged in Southern Africa. And what about Europe and Germany as well? What kind of alarm bells are ringing across the EU about this?
Yeah, very similar debate, really. So Italy has now just introduced a ban on travel for anyone who's been in those affected Southern African states within the last 14 days. Germany this morning also introduced new restrictions, meaning that only German citizens arriving back to Germany from that affected region would be able to enter the country. And EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has also announced that she wants to coordinate action between EU member states to restrict or possibly even ban travel from that region, because, you know, we're seeing here a very similar debate really to in the UK. Great concern over that region spreading, and people want to buy as much time as possible to stop the variant coming to the EU.
All right, Damien, for now, thank you very much indeed. Damien McGuinness there for us in Berlin. And Dr. David Nabarro is Special Envoy of the World Health Organization on COVID and can join us now. David, good to talk to you. Thank you very much for being with us. I mean, a lot of concern. We've already heard it from the UK government and EU governments as well about this new variant. How worried are you? Because we have seen variants and mutations before, and no doubt we'll see them again. But is this one different, do you think?
Well, I was going to just start with that way of talking. You know, when you're dealing with an infectious disease like COVID-19, you expect the virus to mutate. As the months and years go on, the number of mutations will increase. Most mutations don't end up making the virus any more viable, but just occasionally mutations do occur that are troublesome. And we know about Alpha, we know about Delta. And now we have another one. And of course, there will be concern. The World Health Organization Technical Advisory Group on Variants is meeting today, and they will explore just how to approach this new one that's provisionally called Variant New. My own view is that, that really it is appropriate to be concerned about this. I'll tell you why. The virus looks like it will have greater capacity to evade the defenses that we've all built up as a result of the vaccinations we've received since the beginning of this year. And that is a concern, because that would then mean that it's a bit like having to reset the dial and to go back and start dealing with a totally new pandemic all over again. We have to treat it as a new virus. So that's the concern. And the only thing I want to say to people is, remember, the way we deal with a pandemic like this is we do everything possible to stop the virus being transmitted. So as well as trying to get everybody vaccinated, the really important thing is wear face masks, maintain physical distancing, practice good hygiene, and try to ensure decent ventilation, particularly in indoor areas.
There's no shortage of foam in the frothy cappuccinos at Cowabunga Coffee Shop. What there is a shortage of is pretty much everything else. The global supply chain strain has made it difficult to keep the coffee shop stocked with essential food and beverages. The sign on the door says it all. Customers are urged to be patient with staff members because they're out of a lot of stuff.
We're short on everything from bacon, crayons, straws, cups, silverware packets, ketchup packets, just small things.
Take this coffee cup and its lid. It most certainly was manufactured in China. And according to one supply chain expert I spoke to, it probably took over 200 different entities to get this from the factory in China to the coffee shop here in New Jersey. The supply chain is like dominoes. One falls, they all fall. The well-documented supply chain problems could be exacerbated during the Christmas holiday shopping season and into Lunar New Year in February. Experts say a few big companies are prepared, but most are not.
For 99% of the companies on Earth, they are managing with spreadsheets and emails, and it is taking 50 or 60 phone calls to manage one shipment. And we have people in the industry literally breaking down in tears over the pain of trying to keep track of 1,000 shipments across the world.
Oh, it gets very hectic in here, especially Saturdays and Sundays.
For Erica, when she calls her distributors asking when she can reliably get supplies for the coffee shop, the answer she is given is not what she is looking for.
Right now we're being told that at minimum 10 months, at maximum about 20 months until our supply chain here is completely back to normal. You said all foam, right?
For her and millions of business owners around the world, it can't come soon enough. Gabriel Zondo, Al Jazeera, Hoboken, New Jersey.
You were listening to the WINNFM Headline News on 98.9. Our top stories were: the St. Kitts and Nevis Labour Party begins leadership transition this weekend. Concerns have been raised about the decline in Guyana's fish population. Local fishers have reported reduction in catches, and the government there is set to conduct an analysis on the claim. Internationally, concern about a new heavily mutated variant of coronavirus first detected in southern Africa has led the UK to restrict travel to 6 African countries. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
We are faced with tough decisions every day, but choosing the right home or motor insurance shouldn't be one. You need fast claim settlement from a company that's been rooted for over 31 years. And don't forget the A Excellent rating by AM Best. Make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Reliable insurance that you can count on. Get a quote today for your home, motor, contents, and liability insurance needs, and make the intelligent choice. Caribbean Alliance. Tomorrow secured. Local agents, DeLeo Walwyn & Co. Limited. Telephone 465-2631 or 469-5303 for the Nevis office.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International. By land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
It's happening again. By popular demand, we're doing it again. Yep, we're doing it again. Horseman's Furniture and Appliances is once again giving away double cash back for free groceries for the months of September to December. Every customer at the Horseman's Furniture and Appliances showroom in St. Kitts and in Nevis gets double cash back coupons for absolutely free groceries. But it doesn't stop there. Every higher purchase customer will also get a chance to win. Yep, get double cash back for free groceries and and a chance to win absolutely free groceries for a year. With every $100 spent on higher purchase, by popular demand, we're doing it again. Double cash back for free groceries, plus a chance to win free groceries for a year. Come to Horseman's Furniture and Appliances today and expect low prices, expect great quality, expect free delivery, expect double cash back for free groceries, expect a chance to win free groceries for a year, expect the extraordinary. Terms and conditions apply.
Saying good afternoon to our listeners and viewers. Welcome back to the second half of Voices. We want to open up the segment with a call from the public. Caller, you're live on Voices. Go right ahead. And we'd have lost that caller. We're sorry about that. Caller, are you there? Are you there? You're live on Voices. Okay, would have missed that caller.
Hello.
Hello there, caller. Are you there? Yes, I'm glad to hear your voice. Welcome to Voices.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I want to big up the 25 most remarkable teams and the organizers, whoever responsible for the 25 most remarkable teams.
Definitely.
I happen to listen to Dr. Joe, I think it's Wednesday and Thursday, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he said if God forbid that he has to be the leader of that party, he mentioned saying that he will talk to everybody else except for Dr. Timothy Harris. He's going in a wrong word, regardless of what. If he has to be the leader for that party, and the opposition and the government have to attend some function, what he gonna say? He's not gonna talk to the Prime Minister?
That's not leadership.
Exactly. I was like shocked when I hear Dr. Joe. I was like, really, Dr. Joe? Come on, man, not like that. He said clearly he would talk to anybody else but except him for Dr. Timothy Harris. And that's not a good word that he's going down.
If he said that, I think he regrets it because nobody's going to support that kind of platform.
So I don't know what happened to our politicians. And then we have the supporters of out here listening to them and going to act.
It's what we do. We follow leaders, right? But leaders must take a policy stance. You have to dialogue with everyone.
Lead at the front. Okay, bye.
You're so welcome for your contribution. Yeah, we got a bit of the politics in that now. I was sent a clip yesterday. When somebody wanted me to, based on what they sent to me, the interpretation was that Dr. Douglas was endorsing this person over the other person. I'm saying, okay, it is what it is. But I just had an article here I wanted to read that spoke to a situation that prevails in Barbados, which is identical to what's happening here. And I read, earlier today, some of the taxi operators at the Bridgetown port complained things were in dire straits because they were being cut out of the cruise passenger jobs. They said that the big tow companies were getting the work and many of them could not meet their financial commitments. Later, Minister of Maritime Affairs and the Blue Economy, Kirk Humphrey, said that with immediate effect, cruise lines were to allow passengers to use the services of taxi operators in port in Barbados, in Bristol, who have been approved by the government. The point is we have an identical situation here. It's not only in St. Kitts. So when people are saying that the government were supporting that stance, that's totally, totally wrong. Okay? Let me say good afternoon to Amber Lewis down in Anguilla, and Zara, and Cleo, and Rosemary up in New York, and Brenda, and Dr. Sweeney, and all the folks who normally tune to the station. And we go to the line for a call. Caller, you're live on Voices. Good day, caller, you're live on Voices.
Yes, the King. Journey here again.
Yes, sir, Jenny, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Beautiful.
Now, to Mrs. Henry, the fact that Mrs. Henry would say that we know that Jesus was not white, let me expound on this a bit. You see, saying things and just leaving it on the surface, I'm going to go a bit deeper. And it was echoed before by I think, Raskalonji. The Immaculate Conception was our story. It was between Osar and Oset and Ayesu, which is the son who we now call Christ. So the fact that a picture was painted, a picture says 1,000 words. And the lie that they told us in the book, where it says the lie travels faster than the truth. Those who conquer us have inserted themselves into our history, into our story, and gave us their narrative. So when Mrs. Henry is going to say, we know, most of our people don't know. Most of our people don't know, because that's why we have a painting in our homes, in our churches, and that painting is of an innocent-looking white boy with blue eyes and long hair. Long hair. Doesn't that say something, the king?
Well, I have the same issue when I see a lot of us women walking with long hair too.
But anyway, the king, the thing is, right?
Mm-hmm.
It goes with everything that I'm saying. Here is it that we have them telling us, and they gave us the book. And when Mrs. Henry is going to say that we were all born in sin, I'm going to go back to when the order was given, when life came to being with the Creator. When you have sexual intercourse with your wife, your girlfriend, whoever, and you produce a child, and both of you in a home, husband and wife, man and woman, you have order that you set down before your house to your child. When did your child start to deviate from your order? So I am saying, generation upon generation have kept the order. We weren't born in sin, Mrs. Henry. When the Creator created us, we was not born in sin. We have deviated and we were broken. We were broken by the enemy.
This is pre-Adam and Eve.
She referred to as the devil. That enemy where we ever heard that the devil, where has anyone ever heard that the devil killed someone? The devil, as we know it, is a spirit too. Has a spirit ever killed anyone? That spirit has to take on a life form. And that life form is who is killing us today. That's the point I am making, Mrs. Henry. So when you're going to say that the God of the devil, the God of death is the devil, well, the devil is killing us. They have planted a crown of thorn on Jesus' head, which signifies that they are playing with our brains today. They pierce his hands and his feet. We cannot plow the earth to plant our own food. We cannot walk the earth, and we are the salt of the earth. They can travel the earth without passport, without visa, and they place restriction upon us. And today, the piercing of the sword in the side is the food that they are now giving us, which is GMO.
Oh.
They are the virus. They are the virus that has touched humanity. And everything is about us.
You're saying that the symbolisms of piercing the palm and the feet, that comes down to not being able to farm?
Today. All this, the crown of thorn around his head, is them playing with our minds. The piercing of his hand and his feet.
Yeah.
The piercing of his sword in his side, the food that they are giving us today in GMO. The king, this is deep.
They're all related, the symbolisms.
And they are willing to take down a few of their own. Now, let's bring this fast forward this to the coronavirus today. They know their time is up because 400 years that the book said that the enemy shall rule his people. We're going to be in bondage for 400 years. The coronavirus, they had it in the making, and they have thrown it out at us today because they know the time is up. The time is up, and they're willing to sacrifice some of their own. The king,
so is mass genocide?
This is deep. We are at war. What is going on in Ethiopia today is them trying to conquer Ethiopia spiritually. This is a deep war that is targeted at the chosen people, the people who are the sand on the shore and the stars in the heavens. We, you and me today, and all who is hearing my voice, the black race, they have our DNA that they're playing with. Do you know? You know in the scripture where they spoke about Jacob, when he had this dream and then he saw the ladder, and
Yes.
the angels was ascending and descending. You know what that signifies?
No, tell me.
Our DNA that was going back and forth from the earth to heaven, from heaven to earth, into us. They've been studying our DNA to ponder why we have melanin and they don't have it.
Okay.
We are at war, spiritually, physically, and it's a genetic war that they're throwing at us today. Wake up, my people. This is our reality. And they know it. You know, one other thing before I go. If the white man hear me talking like this today, he will be confounded. Not in the sense that he's troubled. He know what I am saying is the truth. My people are going to, and respectfully
Confounded
to
or
Mrs. Henry,
convicted?
respectful to Mrs. Henry, got to apologize. She's an apologist for them. I want Mrs. Henry to move away from this. And Mrs. Henry, yes, I will be happy to invite you to the continent, whether in the physical, and you will get there in the spiritual realm. Mrs. Henry, that is our birthright. And they are making generational wealth today from you and my inheritance. The prodigal son did rise and say, I shall get out of the husk and return back to my father's home. Africa is the continent. Africa is the ark. And this is where our life is going to be restored. As it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. The words of the Most High does not return to him void. And for all those who are going to say, the book saying the last days, this going to rise and that going to rise, Mrs. Henry, to respect to you, the sheriff in Hertfordshire and the one in Montserrat, what was hidden from the wise and prudent are being revealed unto babes. I've been awakened since the pandemic, and I've taken my journey. And I know who the only true and living God is. And that's the God of my ancestors. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Once again, June is a constant and consistent contributor to this program, so we do appreciate your point of view. However, I want to thank you for keeping it respectful. The dialogue between, okay, let's take this caller and then we get back to that point of view. We missed the caller.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sister Henry. How about now?
He come in, you know. He come in. They who seek will find.
I was just going to say the constant dialogue, you know, once he's respectful.
Yes, he's coming, he's coming.
Each one teach one. We have a lot to learn from each other.
Africa know your God?
Say again?
What I say? Africa shall know their God or call to their God?
I didn't quite hear him say that, but you explain.
Not him. I don't say the brethren say it. Oh, thanks for the correction. Is Mandela had in mind.
Okay, when he went to Jamaica?
Yes.
Because I know you're more astute than that.
But Haile Selassie did tell them he ate no God. They can't dispute that. But Jesus never denied it. And you see, what is going to happen to my good? By the way, you hear the ark? Mine, the ark coming. The last set of people who line up with the ark get the throat cut, you know.
How so?
In Jamaica. You forget?
Oh, Miss Henry.
The last set of people who line up to go on the ark.
That was fallacy. You know, I followed that at some point and realized it's just ignorance. I mean, like another Jim Jones in the making.
You understand?
You
So
know.
we now got the African one.
I read those stuff. I just said, just something with just propaganda. I don't even take them on.
You know, I mean, sometimes they kind of reweave some story that beat the imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the trouble is, you know, you go to the root of the problem. You go to the source. You go to Africa, you don't hear these kind of stories, you know.
But even apart from Africa,
these kind of stories.
these preachers and pastors across the spectrum always have a different agenda, from Benny Hill to Reverend Price to Creford Dollar, and people get caught up with them.
Yeah, I don't hear them myself.
You remember,
I don't say boy. Some of them I would have checked them out.
those in the mid-80s, the Bakers.
You know, so
Tommy
when I hear
Baker's-
my good friend Johnny, I said, well, one way or another, God will rule. He will know who is God, you know. Because the Bible says, the heavens declare the glory of God.
He spoke to the God of his
About
fathers.
the prince. Let me think.
Yes.
Not defending the prince. But even in India, you would have heard that people keep moving more
Encroaching.
and more into the forest.
Encroaching.
Some of them for farmland too, eh?
Mm-hmm. Like in
They
Brazil.
keep clearing and they keep going further and further into the forest. Then they're being attacked by the animals. You know that, right?
Yes, it happens here. We are encroaching
Yeah, we
into the
encroaching.
primates' inhabitats. And that is why we see well, the monkey raiding the mangoes and so on. That was your
Yeah,
food.
you
We
got
cut down the sugar cane while building a hillside.
I mean, they're building houses.
Well, welcome to my world.
You understand? So when we balling about the monkey, them and the monkey, we chase the monkey
We
out.
are encroaching on their habitats.
So that is what the prince was talking about. This long story that my good friend giving. Now let me get to the news item about the labor convention coming up, or conference. I told somebody that is the plot, you know.
True.
The plot is to allow the confusion to continue and the chaos to escalate.
And
so
result?
they go to the conference on Sunday, and the people well stirred up and confused. And then the savior going to step in to save the party.
Oh.
You heard the last part of his comments?
About when he spoke about the three persons?
And if anything, he will step in.
I didn't hear the part. Somebody sent me a clip where he
that
spoke.
was the last part of the interview he gave. And I told somebody that is the plot.
Okay.
The plot is to create as much chaos. So when they go, if they tie and they can't resolve the matter, then Dr. Denzel Douglas will be returned.
It's official?
As the party leader, keep your eye open.
It's official.
Have you thought about that?
Well, yes, I didn't actually hear it, and I actually paid very little attention to it.
That is the plot. So the one that might have been chosen, they ambush him, they do all kind of things to him. And the others, they don't declare. So they're busy fighting among themselves. But you see, it's good thing to know your Bible, you know. The creator of the confusion confessed that his aim was to put Timothy Harris and Sean Richards to fight.
I didn't hear that. I would love to hear that because
Oh, you didn't hear that?
Jamson and I were discussing something a short while ago. Something.
Then Barrow said it on Freedom.
Okay, well, I didn't listen.
Said he explained to them that was his plot. And of course, you know, they have been targeting Mark Brantley. So they're trying to create as much discontent between Mark Brantley and the Nevis parties. It's a whole plot, you know. The only trouble is that he said when I asked Dr. Douglas and Marcella and Timothy to step down, he was not really targeting Dr. Douglas, but rather Timothy.
Okay.
So it so happened that the gallows that Haman built from Mordecai,
Caught Haman.
Haman was hung on it.
I see.
You understand? He didn't hide to say it. He said, there is a misunderstanding. So, I suppose he didn't. Somebody, can say he explained the plan and the plot to Dr. Drew. Because Dr. Drew was upset when he heard that he was asking the leader and the deputy to step down, and Timothy. So and them he really wanted. So all the chaos, and he said, you know, when the woman came from Trinidad and he was so glad.
That she endorsed?
But he said what happened, it forced Richards and Dr. Simmons to stand up. He said if it wasn't for him, they wouldn't have come out and say nothing. They wouldn't have defend the position.
You mean that convention is on the point?
Yes, the PAM conference.
Yeah.
So he didn't expect that. You see? They didn't like to push back, so he thought they would have a big fight.
I see.
So the fight didn't take place, and they're still working on Mark Brantley.
So whose end game does this serve?
The aim was to create as much confusion in the unity so that they would break up and that the Labour Party would get in.
Understand?
The whole aim was to get the Labour Party back into power.
Yeah. There's a broker in Keon who is active in that, as I understand it.
There's
a power broker in Keon who is actually trying to get that, because we would have heard that certain ministers would have gone to Nevis trying to get that right. And Jamson and I discussed it, but early this morning I was speaking to a young lady who says she don't want to speak to this person because. And I'm saying Richards would have stood on a principle.
Yes.
This discussion was we would allow Timothy Harris to be Prime Minister based on what we discussed. So when Pam emerged with the majority, former Governor General Lawrence did not automatically pass it on. He called Sean to ask him, what is your position? You control the majority. Sean said, yes, we have an understanding. We will let it go to Mr. Harris.
Strategy, man.
Second term, it happened again. So Sean claimed to be the next PM is not based on something he wants, it's an understanding. He passed on that throne twice in succession. And so for them to go back and renege on that promise now, I find it's not the best thing, but
no, it was
I'm a smart potato.
You understand, it was a plan and a plot that backfired or thing went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes people sit down and plan your destruction, you know.
Yes, well, I'm a smart potato, so I'm just watching.
Sometimes they said, well, you know, you're on the taxi association. So if they can't get you direct, they go for somebody else.
Yep.
A next tax association leader.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see, if you are not alert, you become manipulated.
I can't get so good easy, you know. Might be too wide for that.
Better think fast, you know.
Might be too wide for that. I know there's a certain particular playing a game, but I see him coming a country mile away. We will get this thing sorted.
Yeah, I tell you now, I just say, go ahead. I just say, go right ahead if you think I'm watching.
Mm-hmm.
And when you know God, not you're looking for a God, because you're looking, and what beat me with my good friend, if you say that Jesus is the African one, then why you not serving him? That is the same question that was asked, you know. If God be God, serve him. If all these things come out of the African book, then serve him. All them story, them long story, drawn out story, serve him. That is the challenge. And Joshua gave a challenge, you know. Joshua said, look, choose today who you're going to serve. If you want to serve the God your people have had before they
give it a choice. Choose this day who to serve.
And if you want to serve Jehovah God, serve him. But as for me and my house,
I will serve
we
the
will
Lord.
serve Jehovah.
There you go.
So choose.
Choice is a wonderful
the challenge
thing.
I give the challenge to Africa Journey and the young lady. Choose yourself. If you want your gods them from a long time, go back to them.
Okay. Somebody sent me a text and says that the color of Christ's skin is inconsequential, not necessarily based on the imagery put up there because they're trying to.
Everybody know, Lord. I mean, you got the day and the age when you know the man who painted was a white man. Rome was in control. You understand?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And we have seen people who come from the area, and they don't look so.
Of course.
So what else you want somebody to tell you? You see what I'm talking about?
Knowledge is power.
And ignorance is bliss for some people.
Definitely.
So we twist and we turn and
cherry pick
the journey. The Bible says, you know, Jesus said, be real lest any man deceive you. Many shall come in my name saying, I am him. He said, be real them. He said, plenty can come, you know, I think it's one Antichrist. Plenty. He said, search them. Listen to them. It does sound good and it sounds reasonable to you, whatever street you're on. But it's not the truth.
I hope I hear from you again before the day is done.
No defense.
We're going to pause
All
for
right
word from
then.
a sponsor now, but I'm free to call back in because I do enjoy the dialogue with you, okay? So, is there a caller there? If not, we go for a break now and come back afterwards, yes.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9 Win FM.
Paint it, style it, improve it. Your walls, paint it. Your rooms, style it. Your home, improve it with huge savings at the Hospital's Building and Nevis Center's Paint It, Style It, Improve It sales event. Come to Hospital's Building and Nevis Center now and get savings of 25% off all paints, plus deals and discounts store-wide on home improvement items.
Paint it with 25% off all paints. Style it and improve it with other deals and discounts store-wide.
It's your home, so paint it, style it, and improve it at the Hospital's Building and Nevis Center. Paint it, style it, improve it sales event. 25% off all paints and more. Come now, save big, and simply paint it, style it, and improve it. Event starts now and ends December 31st, 2021. Terms and conditions apply. See stores for details.
I want it all.
And we go straight to the phone lines and entertain this call. Call your live and voices. Welcome to the program. And we have a dial tone. Live and voices caller, go right ahead.
Good day, Socrates.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. But I'm very surprised that you concurred with the caller who criticized Dr. Jew for saying that he would talk to anybody else except Dr. Harris. Or maybe I should not be surprised. But anyway, if you both had listened to the context in which he made that statement, I don't think y'all would have concluded what y'all did. He was saying that he would welcome and engage all past Labour supporters except Dr. Harris, who was responsible for the undermining and dividing of the Labour Party. That's what he was saying. You know, he clearly declared as a matter of principle that he would not entertain a discussion, any discussion of him returning to the party. Right? That is where I think he made that statement. All right? Not that he wouldn't talk to the office of the Prime Minister, to the Prime Minister himself, for whatever reason. Okay?
Okay, so if the caller misrepresented what he said, I did say if, because if that is the position, that's immature. So if the caller misrepresented what he said and you call to clarify, it's all good.
Well, that's what I gleaned from it. It was a case, not that he would not talk to a sitting Prime Minister, but he would not entertain that particular Prime Minister re-entering the party. Okay? You know, I think y'all kind of put a twist on it. I know
I didn't put any twist, you know.
accustomed to conniving, scheming politicians, and one may say, as a politician, you should never say never. And we have seen how once mortal political enemies with different ideologies came together and unify to defeat a common political enemy. Right? So one can understand as a politician that you don't be so dogmatic. But I think the country has had enough of these plain smart politicians and their games. Right? The country needs a good leader, not another plain smart politician. Right? Who's going to engage in all kind of machinations instead of attending to the country.
You're saying that the one we have now is not good?
No.
You said the country needs a. You said the country needs a good leader. So I'm trying to clarify. Are you saying that the one we have now is no good?
He has some severe inadequacies. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. And he represents to me the old style of political leadership. You know, where you, how you put it, you win friends and influence people by essentially knowing who to bribe and who to reward and who to punish.
Explain politics to me.
That's old style.
That's the old style. So introduce for me, explain to me what the new style of politics will look like, if you can.
New style politics would be inclusive, right? It would be inclusive. It wouldn't be trying to pit one segment of the population against another. It would be embracing good governance, the good governance tenets. And they know better, you know, because they themselves put it in black and white in the manifesto. They know what they should be doing. But
and they haven't done it.
They refuse to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I listened to the chairman of the Nevis Integrity Commission lamenting. He was very diplomatic about it, but he was lamenting the fact that these politicians, although they passed the integrity in public life legislation, they forgot, that is his exact words, they forgot that little date that operationalizes it. You know? Well, let me ask you, why you think they forgot that date? 6 years. And up to now, they haven't operationalized these things. Man, that is so obvious that they're hiding stuff. And the thing is, I think Dr. Drew was principled in declaring his hand up front. Right? He's saying he's not talking to no traitor who betrayed the trust of the Labour Party supporters. That's exactly what he was saying. Right?
I hear you.
Right? And Mrs. Henry, unity is dividing themselves without Labour's help. If you think all this pretense of Kumbaya is fooling anybody, well, maybe they're fooling Mrs. Henry, but nobody else. Everybody knows what's going on because they're not making any bones about it. None of them trust each other.
So is Dr.
Right? The Prime Minister is certainly doing his utmost to undermine Brantley and strengthen his opponents in the upcoming NIA elections. He's been making statements which he didn't have to, okay, and which he knows is harmful to Brantley, right? So only those who haven't been paying attention would think otherwise. With regards to the reopening of the cruise sector, right, I keep saying it is being done in an ad hoc way without a plan. And so you're going to have these back and forth and pushback and changes if enough people make noise. That's no way to govern.
Did you hear the clip I read from Barbados?
Come up with a plan after consulting everybody and then work that plan. Okay? Not this on again, off again, maybe this, maybe that, and people don't know whether they're coming or going. Right? And I would wonder, right, if it would not have been better rather than this rotation system, okay? They wouldn't have had, say, let's introduce a phased number of taxi drivers operating. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to give everybody a piece of the work. But in the end, that doesn't help. It's better to have a certain number of taxi drivers who ply their trade at Port Zante and get enough work to keep their families going, and introduce them as the need arises, introduce more and more, as opposed to a rotation system. Because whatever has been keeping the taxi drivers afloat, whether it's stimulus, whether it's whatever you want to call it, contributions from the government or from Social Security or whoever else. And remember that some taxi drivers have other sources of income, like yourself, for instance.
Me?
I am sure even without this, your head would be above water, way above water.
Really?
Too much on the media for you to say otherwise. Okay? So what I'm saying is, do it in such a way that the taxi drivers who are involved at Port Zante at any given time would be making enough to feed their families, pay their mortgage, etc.
Let me assist you if I can. All that you're talking about in terms of the approach has been given due consideration. You would have heard that a certain amount of drivers was called there for certain day and the work did not reach them. So the best thing is the rotation. Your call based on what's happening right now. When the ships return with that full capacity or near full capacity, then you change accordingly. But this phase having just a number of persons. They did that. The call persons and
but hold on.
based
No.
on the
It's not
anticipation of the
same
work.
thing. It's not the same thing. Because listen, you're telling me that let's say there was $10,000 to share on any particular day. That you want to make sure that each get $5. That helps. In all honesty, do you really think that helps the taxi driver?
So you're saying of the $10,000,
I'm saying that
you
whatever
select
stimulus and so on
a
they
few.
getting
You
to keep their
must
head
start
afloat.
with a number system.
Huh?
You must start with a numbering system. You must start from number 1 to 10 on this day, number 11 to whatever that day. That's how it has to be done. So whether it's 10,000 or a million, you have to take that approach.
Again, what you're trying to do there is share a small pie. You can still leave people hungry. I'm saying my suggestion would be to make sure that rather than share, everybody get a little piece of that small pie, which leave them hungry, make sure that at a small number, it would be a smaller number, of people get enough so that they would not be hungry. And the other ones will come in accordingly. They keep getting whatever help that they've gotten from government and who else as the phase approach continues. Okay, because obviously we're gonna get back to maybe not back to normal, but some semblance.
Then you're going to find yourself
normality.
criticizing, well, ships are coming now and government still supporting taxi drivers. Come on. You obviously don't know the industry.
You see, that's the whole point. If you have a
You
plan
obviously do not know the industry.
Wait, hold on. If you have a plan that explains exactly what you're doing, you don't think people would understand?
Of course. But what you're proposing is not what you're proposing goes beyond realistic. Right?
But it's better than what's now. How are you gonna? You got a small pie, and you're gonna give.
I read a clip a bit earlier where folks in Barbados is experiencing the very same thing.
So what?
It's not as simple as that. Even the ships are selling.
I'm sure it's not as simple as that. I'm not.
It's not simplistic across the region. All the territories are having the same problems.
I'm not saying it's a simple problem. All I'm saying is that we can bring several solutions to it, try several solutions to the problem.
We're doing that.
Rather than have this confusion that we have right now. And I'm saying that make sure that whatever that number is, I have no idea what it is. The tourism people who knows the industry, who know the taxi drivers and know the number of cruise ships and passengers that are coming in, they would have the details that would determine how many taxi drivers can make a living right now off of the small numbers that we're dealing with now. That's all I'm saying, right? What happened, I'm sure that there are other taxi drivers, just like you, who have different sources of income, whether they went into agriculture or wherever else.
Yes,
right?
some
I'm sure
do.
they didn't just sit down there and twiddle the thumbs.
Quite so.
Right? And I'm saying that at least take some time. To me, it's laziness, Take some time and look at the taxi drivers, see their situation, even if it's 2,000 of them, and I doubt it's that. You can't tell me that you can't have a meeting with segments of these people and make a determination.
Meetings have been held, sir. We have been involved and engaged with the meeting discussing strategy. We have been doing that. There are about 125 to 130 vaccinated taxi drivers, operators who work in that rotation. It's not the 400 you get. So from that small number, we have a rotation system. You're called based on what's anticipated. So they go and say, okay, a big ship in port today, and we're going to be able to only serve so and so on. That ship may only bring like 40% or less. So, in all fairness to all those working in that thing, you have that sharing arrangement. Huh?
But there's obvious difficulty with that, and I'm saying...
You're going to have
right,
difficulties throughout. In Barbados, throughout, because it's not as easy or
use that as an
simplistic as
excuse. I'm
you must
saying
have difficulties.
We can come up with our own solution to our problems. Don't tell me nothing about no Barbados.
We've done that.
Right?
But you're making that situation unique to singles alone, and it's not. It is not.
No. I'm not saying it's St. Kitts alone. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that St. Kitts should come up with the solutions to its problem. And we are a small size. We are small in numbers. Okay? And that should make management of problems like this easier. But for some reason, you all want to make it hard.
Who do you all want to make it hard?
Use our small size to make managing easier. Not create problems.
My friend, we got this.
Right?
We got this.
Okay. All right.
We have a call on the line, so I want to thank you for your contribution as we take turn this caller. Call your 11 voices. Go right ahead. We missed that call. To the previous caller, we got this. Okay, we would have lost. Okay, caller, your live in voices. Welcome to the program.
Yes, the king.
Sir.
This is my last call. I didn't really want to call the king, but I just want to say this. Now, I saw something on social media where Elon Musk is suggesting he wants to give to the UN, the United Nations, $6 billion to fight world hunger. Now, I commented on this post that I see, and I said, Elon, give this $6 billion to the Bill and Hillary Clinton Foundation. Now, Mr. McMahon said that this country needs a new leader. I would like to nominate Mr. McMahon to be that new leader.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, going back to what Mrs. Henry said about the Ark, Africa being the Ark, I was just basing that on the metaphoric story of Noah and the Ark with his 8th soul that was saved. I am saying to our people that Africa is the Ark, and the word says that in the last day he can gather back his people back to the land of their forefathers. So the continent of Africa is the Ark, but sadly our people will perish because of lack of knowledge. So that's my point that I was trying to bring across the king. And yes, Mr. McMahon, I'm nominating you to be that new leader you said the country needs. Thank you for hearing me, the king.
Thank you for your contribution. We're going to pause now for a word from our sponsors, without whom this show would not be possible. And we will be right back with a bit of the, the dialogue.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Bigger, better, blowout, Black Friday weekend sale. Bigger savings, better deals, blowout discounts. The bigger, better Black Friday blowout 3-day weekend sale at Horsewood's Building Centers, St. Kitts and Nevis. 25% off store-wide this weekend from November 25th to 27th at Horsewood's Building Centers on St. Kitts and Nevis. 25% off store-wide on all discountable items from Thursday, November 25th to Saturday, 27th. Bigger savings, better deals, blowout discounts at the Horsewood's Building Centers. Bigger, better Black Friday blowout 3-day weekend sale this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
We have a caller standing by. Caller, are you there?
Yeah, man. Good morning, man. Good afternoon, man. How are you?
Not too bad. Welcome to the program. Go right ahead.
Yeah, man. This tourist sector, man, is going to some taking a beating right now. It seems, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of chatter. It's a difficult period, man. But I think it's better for we to try to put all heads together and try to find them solutions.
Appreciate that.
Because this tourist industry thing, man, we need some degree of diversification in the economy so that all persons that was taxi drivers don't go back into
less
that
dependence.
Industry. Yeah, less dependency.
Mm-hmm.
And now with all of these issues, man, and all these problems, like when they say you put on your thinking hat.
Mm-hmm.
But right now we look like we need a thinking helmet, man. We need something bigger than a hat.
We got this, you know.
You know, but
let me tell you something.
But we gotta, huh?
We invested in the business model, tourism, and it has its aches and pains and ups and downs. We've gone through period because of hurricanes. We've had some setbacks, etc.
Yeah.
This is one. We will get this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's always going to be setbacks, and it's always going to be ups and downs. That's how life is. So we have to adapt and adjust. You know, adapt and adjust. These was two words that I heard another caller probably on another program use. So I'm using his words as well and supporting him. Adapt and adjust.
Correct.
But it's really important. Put more heads together. Two heads are better than one.
That is correct.
You know, so the tourist industry, they got to come up with the solutions. The way how they're going to get them solutions is maybe widen their scope and, you know, involve more people to have more opinions and more ideas. And, you know, whoever is in control, man, they should listen as well, man. They should listen as well, because I've been listening to these talk programs for a while, bro, and boys, a lot of people have a lot of ideas, bro.
Correct.
And there's a lot of forward-thinking people in the federation, but we have to find a way to include them, you know. And the way how I see it, you know, it seems like pre-COVID there were some changes that was coming, but right now I don't know if they're using the COVID to try to implement those changes. But my question to changes would be, why when change comes, why can't when change comes it benefit the poor man more than it did before? Because as I'm listening, it appears like the changes might be coming, but it's not going in the direction of helping the common man or the common taxi driver. You know what I'm saying? You know, there's persons that have bigger vehicles, bigger companies that getting in the port, and the smaller man is not getting in there like how they used to. I mean, I don't know if that's the situation on the ground.
Let me give you a situation. The ships makes more money by selling pre-book events, like for the local bigger companies. Having the captured audiences on the ship now at a smaller percentage, says ship only have about 50%. So there's a large ship in port, but we are waiting for the numbers to come off. The ship during the orientation are telling the passengers, do not book with the local taxi drivers or operators. Book through these pre-book events. And so you find that's part of the work. Once the work is not reaching us, it's happening in Barbados. There are complaints across the region.
That's not fair at all.
So they're taking advantage of this thing to maximize their profits. We understand the bottom line. So we have to get a space to discourage them from doing so.
Yeah, you're right. And that's not right. And I don't agree with that. You know, in regards to that, what you just said now, to me, it appears like the cruise liners and them, because they're
taking advantage of the situation.
They want to try to start dictating what goes on with their cruise liners. Yeah, that's their company. Yeah, but you can't come to my island and dictate what goes on at my port as well.
That's what we're pushing back against.
That's what it seems like they're trying to start doing. And the governments them in the Caribbean, bro, they got to speak up against that. You cannot be complacent, because
they've been pushed back.
They want to come with the changes to benefit the cruise liners, and then when you look, this is what's going to happen.
No. The governments in the region.
For a minute.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is what I'm seeing, right? It's just like somebody. You stay up on Bird Rock and you see 5 cruise ships in the harbor, but you only see ships, bro. The money is not generating at the port and to local people, and like how we should and like how we used to. They want to come and implement changes. So then, therefore, in the long run, bro, cruise ships going to be coming to the Caribbean. The tourists are going to be coming off, sucking up the sun, spending less, and jump back on the ships them and taking off and leaving you all at the ports high and dry. Don't make no money for every time they come. So you know what I think the government should do? Okay, you know, food and everything is rising due to this pandemic. Well, okay, the fee that these cruise liners is paying for the port of calls, the government should make them pay more. The government should increase that fee, what they pay at the ports for the port of call, for docking at the ports, and then take that money and supplement the taxi drivers, I mean, not saying men, but both men and women.
I understand.
supplement the taxi drivers' them income during the phased approach until we get back to the level where the tourist industry was pre-pandemic. The government should get to that. Implement, because, it's inflation everywhere. So when those port right now, even when the demand go up for the cruise travel, them tickets gonna start rising up. So if that's the case, bro, the government should definitely hit them hard in the pocket for docking at the ports, and then take that money and supplement the taxi drivers' them income until the tourist industry get back to where it needs to be. That's my contribution, man.
And I do appreciate that. Okay, thanks for calling.
Thanks a lot, man.
Right.
Okay, thanks.
But I'll listen off here while I explain. Okay, let's take this call. Caller, you live in Voices. Okay. That policy the young man is advocating can only work if all the governments across the region adopt it. We take on this call. Caller, you live on Voices. And we feel the next caller. Is anyone there? Okay. Yes, that caller. Yes, good afternoon. Welcome to Voices. Hello, go ahead.
Following up on the information from Barbados.
Yes.
I noticed that the person who was this Humphrey by name.
Yes.
He issued what he thinks should be done to rectify or assist what has been transpired.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yeah.
From our end, we are hearing chatters of a sort. But
about what?
can we say definitively such issuance has been echoed, such sentiment has been echoed from our end?
Definitely.
Good. All right. We're on the same page.
Director Mitchell pays.
Right. Let's go to what you just said now about the governments across the region. If that's not their approach, the cruise line would always be the winner.
You got a point.
Yeah?
So you're saying
happening in Barbados,
there need to be a concerted effort.
Yes.
One outcry.
It is happening in Barbados and it is happening in St. Kitts. Can we see it, or can we get a report as to it happening in other regions? Because
what do you
when I push it leave here, sometimes it goes to Barbados.
What do you expect? Naturally, it's a model that works for them to make more money. They'll do it in every single port. But because we're here, we're feeling it. But we know we're getting some clips from Barbados that is happening there also. So for the person who said to me some time ago that the government is in collusion with the ships, nonsense.
I agree.
Can be.
To that. I disagree with that part of it. But because I want to think that the fee that is being charged here, the amount, I want to think that it's being charged elsewhere.
It has to be uniform across the region.
Right. So we have certain things in common, commonality that we can continue to work like this and allow other persons. But the bottom line is that if the cruise persons on cruise telling you that, it is establishing in the minds of the visitors that this destination is not a safe destination.
And there should be a concerted protest across the region from all the countries that depend on tourism and are feeling that because it's a small man in the street complaining the guy from Barbados is a small operator. And he's saying the big companies...
I don't want to go back that far and give a negative connotation. But what the independent taxi operator is exposed to is the same thing that would apply to the organized groups, because we saw an incident that can attest to that. And so that should not be echoed from the ship. That
I'm not following you. Clarify for me, please.
The same way, they are giving the impression that don't go with these guys because you might be exposed to whatsoever. Insurance or accident or all these things. All these negative connotations. What I am saying, something has happened here a couple of years back that it wasn't an organized, it wasn't a single operator like you and I who just driving up my vehicle, even though it happened to a bus. It happened to the more organized end.
Okay.
That is what I'm getting at. I just want to touch one last thing before I leave.
Please.
There is this famous, and Mr. Cumberbatch touched on his name, him, Flavius Josephus, well-known historian. A lot of Christians we gleaned from his records, you know. And he gives the description of what the Messiah, Jesus, whatever name, would have talked about. So Christian Europe knew of that. Now, if they want someone to replace them, that is good. But don't fight this on other people. You keep it, just like how the Buddhists keep their Buddha, and you know the Indians keep their Krishna. You keep it if you want to see your God, your Messiah, your avatar in your lenses, in your reflection. It's cool. But don't fight it on somebody else, because that will be a part of colonialism. What I am saying, when these Christian people, missionaries, goes to Ethiopia, they want to sideline what the Ethiopians see in their image as to how Mary is with Jesus and everything, and put another European-looking one to say, well, push that out of the way. I love this to be upfront, and I'm saying you can keep that in Europe, because Europe knew what Joseph said about this statue. And I'm going to tell you something. When Zacchaeus went up in the tree, we will say Zacchaeus was short. But also Jesus was considered, according to Joseph, a man. So it could have been Zacchaeus went up there because he was short, and also the crowd was barring Jesus because Jesus was so short that Zacchaeus had to go up in the tree to see Jesus better, because he was of a short stature also. And so in Christian Europe, they knew what this picture, the icon, because they use icon like in the Russian Orthodox, the icon of Jesus would have looked like. And so if you want Michelangelo to paint a model of Jesus in your Michelangelo image, in the Pope image, so be it, fine. Keep it in your circle. Don't fight it on no one else. Because people is of different culture and you know, and way of life.
Okay, it's not academic because it is what it is.
Yes, and so when Pastor John told them, Pastor John was a Christian and wanted to reach out to the Christians. Now you're telling me you want to come fight me because I am not bowing to your colonization. Ethiopia was the only place that wasn't colonized, and they're proud of it. And they keep their Christian, they're Christian. And for Mrs. Henry, since 1981, I've been a member of the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. Just 2 weeks ago, Craig Puckett, he went to Ethiopia. He was the evangelist here of the Ethiopian St. Tekla Hamanat Ethiopian Orthodox Tawahedo Church. Here, we
now
used
she
to
knows.
assemble right up there on F. Williams Highway by Rash Judah.
Okay. Miss Henry,
I
now
understand, and I know what I'm saying.
okay, appreciate that.
Thanks for listening.
Appreciate that. Miss Henry, now you've been told. Okay. Now, Africa, you made reference to some of the tour companies here who would have been doing that in directing their passengers not to go with the regular drivers. I've seen and I've heard even taxi drivers dispatching, telling the guests not to go with those outside there because they're gypsies. They have no insurance. You know, so when it's convenient, we all get into the fray and do what we think we need to get us a competitive edge. But as it stands across the region now, the same problem or the same stick that hitting the wild dog hitting the tame. And I say, gradually we are going to get it sorted because this thing cannot continue to happen. And I know that Minister Grant has reached out to the relevant authorities protesting this practice because it favors no government to have ships coming in port and having your fleet of workers being denied a job because the ships want to scramble and lie to the people and give a black eye to your country saying how you're going to be robbed, we're not properly insured, if they leave you. This has been going on for years pre-COVID. But now they have a captured and cornered audience doing orientation. They sell them this narrative that it's best to book through the ships. So, example, if a tour sells for $60, they get 70, they get the percentage, they're making money. They don't care about you, the average small man. So we have to husband and look after things ourselves. So the suggestion from Mr. McMahon that the government are just reacting to scrambling, there's been no discussion. We've had discussions across the board. We met with Scenic, Cantors, the task force, the taxi fraternity, time and time again. to sort the various problems. And we go to the line to take this call. Caller, you're live on Voices. Good afternoon, caller. You're live on Voices. Hope you're there.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to the program.
How are you doing?
Not too bad for an old man.
Yes. Mr. Journey, he is confusing people. And I know, Socrates, that you know better. Because he, Mr. Journey, is talking out of the two sides of his mouth. He is saying his book say one thing, and the white man book say another thing. So which is correct? His book or the white man book? But we go a little further, Journey. In spite of what you are saying, the Bible and God's word still stands.
Okay.
Because there's no book ever written is as immaculate as the Bible. You were saying this afternoon about all have sinned. We were born in sin. That's what it says. And there's no other book going to say that about itself and its people. And you, Journey, and the others, you need to get out of this Africanism and get real with life. Because, listen, after death, there is life. The life, we just preparing for the life in the hereafter. And if you don't do what the Bible says, you will find yourself in serious, serious trouble. And King, I know you know better. I know you know better.
But I'm here to entertain all points of view.
No, I'm not saying anything bad about you. What I said to you, I know you know better. So, but your duty is just to entertain everybody.
Not to argue. You have your point of view. We entertain it because you're saying the Bible is the book. He's saying the Bible given us is not the book. He used certain excerpts from it to make his point. I understand. And we entertain and we educate ourselves.
But you see, his book is not inspired. By the way, before I go, right?
Yes.
The only book inspired is the Bible. Because there's no other book say all written is inspired. The Bible says that in 1 Timothy, all scripture is given by the inspiration of God. So everything written there is inspired by God. And where he reads from, inspired by men. And what he's reading from does change at times. Because if you notice, sometimes you read one thing and read another thing, but the Bible still remains the same.
Constant? Okay.
Pardon?
Constant.
The Bible still remains the same. And God says, I am the same yesterday, today, and forever.
And
which African ruler could say that? Not one of them. All of them would have died and gone. And
Here's
Jesus
what.
Christ, he died. And the only man who have died and rose himself from the grave is Jesus.
We are
And all
out
them
of
would have
time.
gone.
But John is saying, he's texting me, the time is up, so invite you to listen on Monday. Unfortunately.
I don't want to. Tell him, I refuse to listen to him.
Okay,
I refuse to listen because he's talking.
We keep it respectful. We keep it respectful. Okay?
Hey, before I go, King.
Yes, quickly.
I learned a quotation some time ago, right? About the senses. Listen me good. You hear me?
Yes, of course. Go quickly because we are out of time.
The most used sense is nonsense.
Okay.
And the least used sense is common sense. You ever heard that before?
It is so common.
You ever heard that before?
Yes, I have.
The most used sense is nonsense. And the least used sense is common sense.
And on that note, we'll close today's program. I want to thank all the listeners, all the viewers, all the folks who contributed to make this program as successful as it has been. My name is Socrates, and God's willing, I may be here on Wednesday. That depends on the cruise ship. So I'm going to let management know whether it's possible or not. In the meantime, peace, love, and be safe.
It's that time again. Triple Cashback is back, but with more. Triple your cashback with Triple Play. Triple the savings, triple the cashback, and get a chance to win. Triple the cashback for more free groceries at Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store today. Yes, for the rest of 2021. Horsford's Furniture and Appliances is tripling your savings with triple cashback coupons for even more free groceries for all FlexPay hire purchase customers. But that's not all. Every hire purchase customer gets a chance to win up to triple their triple cashback in free groceries in the Triple Play. The Triple Play game show gives 2 lucky customers a chance to triple their triple cashback for free groceries and win lots and lots of prizes and more. If you get $500 in coupons for free groceries, you get a chance to get up to triple that amount with our Triple Play game show promotion. That means you get $1,500 in coupons for free groceries. And remember, every hire purchase customer gets a chance to win free groceries for a year. Horsford's Triple Cashback Triple